Okay, welcome back to part two of my conversation with Dr. Farouk Musa. Now, Doc, I have this problem.
Okay.
I don't trust politicians to reform Islam, to bring a new look, a more vibrant, a more intellectual Islam, or more the essence of Islam that I think we have. I don't trust the politician because politics is about power. And you do whatever that is necessary to keep power. You don't do what is right. But that's the nature of the beast. Okay? And I think that is why religion is now the purview of our monarchs, our king. We have a state sultan. In the federal, we have the Agong in charge of religious matters. And there's a good reason for that.
Yeah.
Now, which means if there's going to be any reform or change, it has to be, the Malay rulers has to be more proactive, more involved. Don't you think so?
Yeah, it's a very sensitive issue actually, because as Dato said correctly, that is under the purview of the sultans of each state,
Yeah.
except the federal territories. But then that's why we cannot get what you call laws which are like universal, acceptable to all states, and there's certain state laws which might have different interpretation, and that the Kelantan wanted to have their own set of laws and stuff like that. I think it is like a catch-22 to me. Like if we say that we give the power to Jakim, right? Some people might not be happy with that as well. And we say that it belongs only to the state, and the state sultans have the power to enact their own laws, or to allow certain laws to be implemented and stuff like that. It might not be happy. Some people might not be happy with that as well, because simply they believe it was not the sultan himself that decided on it. It was the advisors of the sultans. Like in Selangor, we have. I'm sorry to say this. But I think they are very, very conservative in Selangor, for example, because even if you see, if you attend the Friday sermons, Friday prayers in Selangor Mosque, then I've been several times, not frequent, but occasionally, very occasionally. That they denounce the Shiites, for example, in their khutbah, in their sermons, and that happened a long time ago during the time of the Abbasid, the early Abbasid period, and Khalif this Umar bin Abdul Aziz, he put a stop to it. And that's why there was certain dua being phrased from the Quran being recited. But now the Selangor government was basically trying to bring that up again, and I think that is not good, because when we try to demonize a sect of the society, of the Muslim society, then it creates schism in our society, and that's not good at all. Yeah.
So I see your point of view, because on the one hand, we have an all-powerful Jakim.
Yes.
That's one scenario we have now. We have a lot of money, a lot of program, but the Jakim is actually a tool of the government. It is political. So my concern is that how much of that resources we have will be used towards really bringing change to Islamic society, in the way it should be. That is why I thought that there should be more proactive involvement of the rulers' side. But I understand your point, because if I remember the history of Islamic growth, modern civilization, whether in Spain or in Baghdad or in Damascus, the era when we were more interested in books rather than demonizing people.
Yes.
In those days, books, literature, knowledge is almost like the Greek time, where we translated all sorts of books, encouraged to read. But that's gone now. Now it's just the opposite. We want to ban books in this country.
Yes.
So I just hope someone or another group, especially the rulers, should have a bit more active role to manage the politician. But anyway, we are going to move to the next subject, which is this idea in this country of Muslim non-Muslim relationship. I know there are this classification in Islamic history about non-Muslim who are friendly, what they call it, the
Kafir Zimmi.
Kafir Zimmi, and then those who are not so Harbi. But that was a time of war. Those classifications was at the time when Muslims were just conquering this country that's not originally Muslim. So naturally you have to have some, But I think we have moved a long way from that era. But in this country, we still have that Muslim who are dangerous and Muslim who are non-Muslim who are dangerous. And I think it affects our ability to grow as a country. How do you see Muslim intellectuals or academics explain this or do something to bridge this? I mean, already we have the fear of DAP, misalnya. I mean, the fear of DAP it's very strange because DAP is Chinese, but you have no fear of MCA. Well, also Chinese. So how does some group of non-Muslim becomes dangerous, and another that is not so? On what basis? So this is going to, I think, affect us in a big way, economically especially. So how do you address this interracial relationship? Let's put it that way.
First of all, I think this clarification that you mentioned about, I think it was not done during the time of Prophet.
Yes.
It was after that. It was during the time when Islam was basically dominant in the world political order at that time, and we saw this in books by, for example, by Al-Mawardi and others that trying to classify this Kafir Zimmi and Harbi, and unfortunately, the modern Muslims, they still read those books, and they're still being influenced by those ideas. And that is why that we hear this kind of ideas that the DAPs are the Harbis and the MCAs are the Zimmis. So I mean this is very sad. But what do you call the issue is that first of all is that we have to kind of current scholars, Muslim scholars, should come up with the what they call the ideas like European scholars, Muslim scholars in Europe, that say that now the important concept is al-muwatinun, about citizenship, and that's more important than talking about separation or segregation between the Muslims, the non-Muslims, and the non-Muslims, which are more cordial to us, and non-Muslims who are not. And I think we lack those kind of intellectualism in among our scholars in this country, as compared to Muslim scholars in the West. That's the issue that we have.
I mean, I'm sure you agree with me. There are many Muslim scholars, I call them, in the sense that they have good degrees, go to good universities. But they're not vocal the way I look at it, except for a few like you yourself. I don't hear them.
Yeah.
I think I'm more vocal than most of them. I mean, and I'm not even an intellectual. I'm just a. You know. What I'm saying is, why the fear? Is that justified? Or is it their. What?
Oh, I think some of these, how do I say, scholars and intellectuals. I mean, some of them. I mean, I don't know, but I think some of them are scared of their position. Some of them probably thought that like they themselves might be demonized if they speak up and things like that. Some are scared of their position. Some are scared of their whatever that they have um, might be affected as well. And I think that the most important thing is that you we have to believe in Allah. We have to have faith that like everything is being determined by God, and that if we speak the truth, I mean that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Right.
As a Muslim.
Yeah, as a Muslim, yeah, we have to have our own principle, and we have to say that we have to be steadfast in this particular principle, and to say that what is wrong and what is right is right. I mean, if you're scared to say that what is being done or what is happening is wrong, then there's no point to be a scholar or to be known as a scholar, right? If you're scared to voice out. And
In which country do you see this, not growth, but at least it is the Islamic intellectual group that is more vibrant? Which country would you say, would you like to sort of emulate?
well, I look at some political figures in Muslim countries. A person like Rashid Ghanouchi, for example, a leader of Ennahda Party, the Renaissance Party in Tunisia.
In Tunisia, yeah.
In Tunisia, yeah. I studied him. I think we discussed about him
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well, his ideas about Farahat, about spaces and stuff like that. And I think that like he has a very like vibrant idea about Islam and democracy, and how Islam can basically um, give spaces for people to live and to express themselves. Not only Muslims but also non-Muslims. They can live together in a country, and to accept democracy as a system. Now we have Muslims who don't believe in democracy,
Yes.
who thought that democracy is nizamul kufr, is a kafir system, right? Infidel system. And I think is very bad. So I think
But the guy like this dog, sorry, Rashid Ghanouchi,
Ghanouchi, yeah.
we never got him to speak here.
No.
We never invited him here.
No.
I would have thought a leader of his caliber
Yeah.
should be coming to
Yes.
lecture us about
Yes.
things.
That's
And
very
there are one or two
unfortunate.
scholars that I read about, even in Turkey and even in the United States. I thought they should descend to this reform
Yeah.
era,
Yeah.
but I've not heard about it.
Yeah, the thing is that like I spoke to Rashid Ghanouchi over the phone once. Yeah, I spoke to him at that time. He was still in exile in London, and I spoke to him over the phone. But unfortunately, he has never given a speech in this country. In fact, we are, like I said, we are more interested in inviting Habibs to to come into this country and to do their what do you call their zikr and everything, right? And I think it's not good, because if we really want to make this community, this society more vibrant in the way of thinking and
Yeah.
stuff, we have to invite.
I
scholars.
thought that the strategy, if I'm involved in the Anwar Ibrahim
Yeah.
strategy,
Yeah.
I would have thought, for all whatever he's talked about, Renaissance man
Yes.
and liberal Islam and all
Yes.
that, I would have thought the way to deal with past is to offer something different.
Yeah.
But I don't see that happening.
Because he was, I mean, the way I see it is that I'm not talking only about him, but also about like party like Amanah, right?
Yeah, Amanah.
It
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
supposed to be a breakaway from past. They were supposed to talk about post-Islamism. I mean, there were leaders inside Amanah like Dr. Zul, my close friend, Dr. Mujahid Yusuf Rawal, for example. I mean, they spoke about these issues before, but I did not hear anything from them anymore. You know, like
The ministers
and,
now.
they're ministers and they're not talking about it anymore. So
Yeah.
they've lost interest, or they thought it's not a viable solution, or what? I don't know. So because of that, people are still stuck with the way that past think, the
Yeah.
way the past wanted this
Islam to be.
Islam to be.
Yeah. Okay, Doc. I'm going to take another break before we come to the last part.
Sure.
Uh, okay, we'll see you in 2 minutes.
Thank you.